If you find yourself constantly trying to achieve goals and falling short of them, or you have so many goals that you want to achieve that it can seem overwhelming and you don't know where to start, then this video is perfect for you. Hi everybody, my name is Jada, and today we're going to be talking about how to make 2026 our year. I personally am one of those people where if I just see a bunch of things that need to get done, if I set a bunch of goals for myself, I'm not entirely sure where to start, and then it can be very overwhelming and I just don't start it at all. So this year I'm going to be creating a plan, and I'm going to pretty much be bringing you along with me throughout my entire year of bettering myself and achieving my goals, and hopefully this can inspire you and also help you motivate yourself and stay committed with me. The first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to state our goals. I don't want you to worry about how realistic they sound. I don't want you to have to worry about the timeline to get to that goal. We just want to be as vague as possible, and we just want to speak them out loud, because sometimes we can have a lot of word vomit going on in our brains and we don't necessarily say what we mean. So once we get it out of our system, it can just help us kind of clarify, and we can go from there. So for example, this year my goals are to get my dream body. I want better hair, I want better skin, I want more money in my savings, I want to grow on social media, I want to be a better person, and I want to travel this year. So right there, that's 7 different goals, and they're very, very vague. So once you have stated your goals, now is when we're going to clarify. We're going to word them in a way that makes them more achievable and makes them more digestible for ourselves. Because if you have goals that are vague and you don't really have a plan for them, that's where you can fall short, because you just don't even know where to start, right? But by breaking them down into something that's more digestible, it makes it seem more possible, more achievable, and something that you can easily do. So for example, for my dream body, I want that like hourglass figure, right? I want bigger glutes, I want a smaller waist, and I just definitely want more curves. And so by doing that, I have to make sure that I plan a workout that's going to cater to that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna get that by running 6 miles every day. I'm not going to get that by just doing Pilates. I'm going to have to eat a certain way. I'm going to have to go to the gym and make sure that I'm hitting glutes a specific amount of time a week, and quads and glutes, and hamstrings. And I'm also going to make sure that I have that upper body done so that it doesn't look uneven and things like that, right? And for my hair, like, not only do I want better hair, but I also want longer, healthier hair. And that's its own routine, that's its own oiling, hair mask, all kinds of stuff like that. I want clear skin. Yes, I just want healthier skin in general. I do understand that no matter what $1 million skincare routine I have, or however amount of sleep I'm getting, and water I'm getting, and food I'm getting, at the end of the day, I just have hormones that are going to give me pimples sometimes, that are going to give me acne. I'm going to go through stress. And so I want healthier skin, I want better skin, but I also know that clear skin 24/7 isn't going to be possible, correct? And then I also want more money in my savings. So you might have $500 in your savings right now. You might have $10,000 in your savings right now, or nothing in your savings. If you're like me, last year was very, very difficult, and it really took a blow on me financially, and pretty much all my savings are gone. And so what you want to do is you don't want to set a goal that's completely unachievable. Like, if you have $10,000, you don't want to say, oh, I'm going to have $20,000 by the end of the year, right? Because you might get to that $20,000 and something might happen to where you end up with 15 or 14 or whatever's. And so we want to make something that's achievable, but we also give ourselves room for a margin of error or for something to happen, correct? So I'm going to say by the end of this year, I'm going to have at least $500 in my savings, because that's not far away from me at all. It gives me room to excel. It gives me room to achieve that goal, but I also know that if something were to happen, $500 is way comfortable for me, at least personally, to still have that in my savings by the end of the year. And then I said I wanted to grow on social media. I understand that that is semi in my control, right? When it comes to my body, my hair, my skin, those are things that are in my control. Those are things that if I want to achieve them, I'm going to achieve them. With social media, if I want to be consistent, if I want to upload a video every week, if I want to, post on Instagram and do all the things right, then that is on my side what I can do. At the end of the day, I can make the most aesthetic, most pleasing videos and get 30 views. I might post garbage and get 12,000 views. There's so many different factors into it that yes, I want to grow on social media, but I'm also not going to kick myself in the leg. So instead of focusing more on the numbers of subscribers and followers, I'm going to just focus more on my personal consistency, my personal editing, and just consistency. I'm going to really want to post on YouTube maybe once a week. Maybe once every other week, something that's achievable for me. I just know that I really want quality videos where if somebody does stumble on my channel and they like what I say and what I have to offer, then they can go and see that there's also other videos that have something to offer, that have something enjoyable to watch, if that makes sense. And then I said I want to be a better person. That is very vague. I really want to be kinder. I want to be a softer person. And so, of course, that is something that I have to start with on the inside. I have to really heal things that I have had in my past. I have to kind of just figure out where I am, where I stand now, and build from there. And then with traveling this year, I did say that I want to travel. My goal is to travel twice this year. And I do have to be realistic with the fact that I make a certain amount of money and I don't really have a lot left over once I pay for all my, financial responsibilities, my mortgage, my groceries, my subscriptions, my pets' food, and all of that stuff. And so my mindset when it comes to money is I never say I don't have enough, because then that's kind of me just admitting defeat. It's me saying this is just how it is and it's not going to get any better than that. I always just say I'm not making enough. So instead of saying I don't have the money to do that, I'm just saying I'm not making enough money to do that right now. Because because I honestly could just get another job. And some people have responsibilities, right? Some people have pets, some people have kids, some people have things that don't allow them to get another part-time or full-time job, and I do understand that. I would not want to leave my animals here all day every day while I'm at work, because then I'm making all this money for what? But I can do things like DoorDash, I can do Rover, I can walk somebody's dog, I can pet sit, house sit, babysit, I can tutor. There's so many different things that at least give me some kind of additional money. And so I never say I don't have enough. I always just say I'm not making enough. But yeah, not to go on that little tangent. But now that we've broken down our goals, I'm gonna kind of go through on how I'm gonna plan things this year. Some people might really want to focus on something a week and then add something on, or do everything at once, or you go about it however you need to. However, I am going to be breaking things down month by month this year. On average, it takes about 66 days to make a habit. It can be something as simple as 21 days. It could be as long as 250 days, but on average, it's 66 days. With that being said, I want to focus on one goal until it becomes so normal, so part of my routine, that when I add the next goal, it's not something that's going to faze me or seem overwhelming or seem like something I can't handle. So like I said, I'm going to be breaking down everything month by month. January is kind of just my month of unplugging and just completely restarting everything from scratch. I've deleted all my social media for the month of January. I haven't really gone out. I've kind of just been focusing on myself, and I've unplugged from the world and just really want to focus on where I am at right now. I want to see what my version of starting from scratch is so that I can build onto it for the rest of the year. And then January, I am going to be focusing all on my inner self. Like I said, I want to be a better person, but not only does becoming a better person need to start from the inside, I also can't achieve all my other goals. I can't do all these routines. I can't go travel and do all these things if I'm not right with myself, if I'm not in the right headspace, if I haven't dealt with things that I haven't healed from, or laziness or emotional baggage and things like that. If I'm exhausted and I just keep pushing myself past exhaustion, I'm going to fail. So I really want to make sure that I take the time to do not only self-care in the form of I took an everything shower and I deep cleaned and I wore comfy pajamas and ate ice cream and watched my favorite movie, but I genuinely want to focus on journaling and knowing where I stand in my heart and my mind. So February is going to be all about self-care, all about journaling and really focusing on my mental health, on my emotional health, and kind of trying to make a plan that's always going to be true to myself and that's always going to recharge me, whether it's going on a hike or going to the beach and reading a book or staying inside and just playing The Sims on my computer. Like, that are the things that I'm going to start to learn about myself and what's going to help me be the best me this year. And then March is going to be all about my ideal body. Now, I don't want to say in like I'm only going to the gym to achieve this body, right? Because going to the gym is not going to answer that goal. I also have to eat a certain way. I have to get so many hours of sleep. I have to make sure that I'm not only working out that way, but I'm resting that way. And there's so many factors that go into it. So really, I want to say that that March is going to be my month of health. I really want to focus on eating the way that I need to achieve my goal. I want to take progress pictures, and I want to really focus on getting those workouts in, on figuring out what that workout is going to be and how I'm going to implement it, what days I want to go to the gym, how many days I want to go to the gym. And by me breaking things down month by month, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to focus on any of these goals. It just means that if I work my 9 to 5 and then I walk my dog and I feed my dog and feed my cats and I shower and I get dinner ready and I only have so much time left in the afternoon, I'm not going to kick myself in the leg because I didn't do my hair care routine and my skincare routine and I didn't go to the gym and I didn't do all of this stuff. I just know that if I have the option of focusing on going to the gym or doing my hair care that month, I might go and do my hair care, and that's going to be a win for me. That's going to be me sticking to my goal, because I know that doing something inconsistently is going to be better than me not doing it at all. And after doing something inconsistently and then slowly becoming consistent and doing it consistently for how many ever days, at some point it's just going to be part of my routine. It's not going to be something that I really have to struggle and worry about, and I can step onto the next goal and add the next thing onto my plate, if that makes sense. All right. And then so we have January, resetting. February, all about our inside, all about our self-care, mental health, figuring out where we're at. March, I'm doing my health, eating a certain way, working out a certain way. April is going to be all about skincare. I really want to not only focus on like bettering my skin on my face, but just my skin around my body. I've always broken out really bad on my chest and shoulders and my back. My back has always been a problem, especially because I work outdoors. I do work on a ranch, so I am constantly sweating. I am drenched in sweat all day, covered in dirt, and I smell very unpleasant by the end of the day. So it's going to be all about skincare, all about getting the amount of sleep that I might need, changing habits, not only like creating a skincare routine and making sure that I shower every day, but maybe having satin sheets that I can sleep on, and maybe having a little detox I could do, and exfoliating a certain amount of times. And then May is all going to be about hair care, creating a hair care routine, finding out what products work best for me. And those are the things that I can do in my control. And the nice thing about it is, if I were to focus on one of those things month by month, I end in June. And that still gives me time to be like, okay, I really want to focus on this thing again, so I'm going to focus on this thing again in the month. Or I might just be like, I can do all of these things now. But it gives me time to kind of have error and to maybe not achieve it the way I wanted to, but I still have the other half of the year left. And then when it comes to things like traveling, when it comes to my savings, when it comes to my social media and wanting to grow, those are things that I can't really just focus on one month. It's kind of like an overall thing. So I might focus on just YouTube for a month, and then I might try and add Instagram, and then I might try and add TikTok, or I might say I'm going to post once this month, then I'm going to post twice the next month, then I'm going to post 3 times, then I'm going to try and post every week. But just starting it in a way where it's so possible, it's so easy. And if I did, right, if I posted this video and I said I'm not going to post my next video till next month, that gives me so much time to plan, to edit, and to make that video the best I can be. And I know at the end of the day that I might put blood, sweat, and tears into that video, and it's only going to reach maybe like 20-30 people, but I at least did it. I at least was true to myself, and I stuck to the goal that I wanted. And sometimes I've had videos that have only had 20-30 views for months, and then out of nowhere they go to like 3,000, 4,000 views. So really, you just never know. And so why not put your best effort in, and for a video that someone might see a year from now? Because if they see something and they're like, wow, this is amazing, and they go see all your other videos and they're like, wow, this is garbage, they're not going to want to continue watching. But if they see a video and they're like, wow, this is so good, and they go to your channel and they see the next video and they're like, wow, this is really, really good, they're going to keep watching. They're going to binge all your videos. Because I've done it. I've seen YouTubers that I'm like, oh my gosh, this video is so nice, and I go to their channel and I'm like, this video is so good, and now I'm stuck on them for like the next 2 months. So really, really, really just always be true to yourself and do it for yourself. Don't do it for the immediate satisfaction, because it's just not going to work that way. And then with traveling, I do want to travel twice this year. I do understand realistically that I make a certain amount of money, and that I may not be able to make like a trip to Paris or a trip to Greece, and stay in a 5-star hotel. But I'm never going to say that I just don't have enough money, because that's not true. I'm just not making enough money for certain things that I want right now. And that is a fixable problem. When I say I don't have, then that's me admitting that that's just the way it is, and that it's not going to get better than that. When I say I'm not making enough, that completely changed my mindset, and that leaves room for possibility to make more money. So right now, just off the job I have, no, I don't make enough money to maybe go on 2 big trips a year. I might be able to maybe just travel somewhere within my state, see somewhere that I haven't seen before, but that's still better than nothing. And if I want to make more money, I can do a part-time job, or I could do something like DoorDash or dog walking or babysitting, tutoring, things like that. I don't want to get another job that has a strict commitment, because I do have a dog, I do have cats, and I don't want to leave them here all day by themselves. But if I do DoorDash, then I can grind DoorDash out for a week and then not the other week, or I can do it on the days that I work already and then have my days off completely off. And it's something that I can kind of work with my schedule, but I can still make additional money. And so really, I have to figure out where exactly I want to go. I know one of my trips, I really want to go to LA. And so, you'd have to figure out the flights and how that's going to be round trip, and your lodging and transportation, and then the money that you're going to have when you're there to spend. And those are things that, there's just so much planning that has to go into it in advance. So I can't say in June I'm going to go to LA and then June is when I'm going to start planning. It's something that you do have to start kind of looking at the beginning of the year. So if you do plan on traveling this year, I encourage that you start looking at things now so you can at least come up with a summary of how much money you're going to need to travel to that place. The next thing that we're going to be focusing on is motivation. A lot of times we have the goals, we have the plan, and sometimes we just lose the motivation. And that can be really the hardest part, especially because all these videos that we're watching of people that live the lifestyles that we want to live, they are influencers or content creators that do that as a job. That is their complete 9 to 5. Their job is editing and filming those videos and doing all these things. While for the average person, we wake up 2 hours before work to get ready for it, and then we go to work, and then we have to spend the time driving back, and then you still have to try and get a workout in and tend to other responsibilities and eat dinner and sleep at a reasonable time to do it 5 days out of your week. So I don't want you to be discouraged because you feel like you're behind, or you feel like you don't have enough time, or that you might not have all those luxurious items, because you can romanticize your showers, you can romanticize your dinners without all of the materialistic, and not in a negative way, but like all the materialistic, like cute glasses that they have, or cute straws and all of that thing. Like, you don't need those to make yourself feel good about your routine. So I really want you to be happy with where you're at and know that you can slowly achieve those things. My biggest motivation is definitely Pinterest. Pinterest is where I've been going lately to kind of just see things that I really like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute, I want to be like that. My explore page on Instagram was just straight up like girls that had the bodies that I wanted, with like toned abs and workouts and stuff. And I'd go to the gym, and during my breaks, like during my rests in between sets, I would go onto my explore page and I would look at this and I'd be like, yeah, let me go ahead and let me add a 10 onto that. And obviously comparison is the thief of joy. We don't want to compare where we're at to where somebody else is at. I don't want to compare myself to a fitness influencer because they have a passion for it. And not only do they have a passion for it, they have the time for it. While I might not necessarily have the passion to go to the gym and work out, my passion is running. I can run 8, 9, 10 miles all day, every day if you wanted me to, but unfortunately that's not going to get me the body that I want. And so I know that I have to implement more weightlifting, and I have to implement certain things. And so it can be really frustrating to do something that you don't have a passion for, and that's where discipline comes in, and by seeing what we want and by surrounding ourselves with what we want. I think that it's genius to have a mood board. I think it's genius to journal and to take pictures of our progress. I think it's important that with our hair, like you take a picture of your hair and how it looks at the beginning of the year and how it looks maybe every month or halfway through the year, with our skin, with our body. And journaling, I think, is always so important to have some kind of journal, some kind of log. Of course, the dumpster wants to come through. But I think it's so important to have some kind of log and to be able to look back at where you were to see how far you've come. Because even if you didn't do anything, if you didn't try and achieve any goal this year and you just let life take you where it wanted to, you're still going to end up somewhere completely different than where you were earlier this year. I just kind of gave up last year. I want to say for a couple of months, for the first 6 months, and I was still in a completely different space than when the year started. I had a completely different body than when the year started. My hair was different. It might not have been the healthiest, but it was longer, and so things like that. Life is always going to change. It's always going to take you somewhere, so why not have some kind of say in where it's going to take you, you know? But that brings me to my last point, which is going to be prioritization. Those people that you see in the position that you want to be in, whether it's the CEO of something, or the girl that seems like she has it all, or the person that has the dream body that you want, or the hair that you want, it's not because they can do everything all at once, but it's because they're really good at prioritizing the most important things. You might not be able to get the workout in and get the everything shower and meal prep in. You might have to prioritize meal prepping that day, and then you can prioritize your hair care another day, and you can prioritize a workout another day. For example, I sometimes just need the rest. My house might be a mess and I might really want to clean it, but I know that at that time I need to just relax. I need to sit on my couch, watch TV, or go outside and touch grass. I might not want to be cooped up. My priority for that week might just be hanging out with my friends. And it's important that we know when to choose certain things and what that right choice is going to be for you. So we definitely want to focus on prioritizing. For example, on the days that I do clean, I know that yes, I can spend my entire day cleaning, but I only have so many days off, and I don't want to spend my entire day just giving it to that and then have my days off fly by, and next thing you know, I'm back at work. So I will literally put a timer on. I'll write a list of all the things that need to get done, and I will put a timer on, and I will get as many things done as possible as I can within that allotted time. And if I don't, I save it for another day, and I'm so happy that I can get it right. And that's when the whole prioritizing things come in. Obviously, laundry is probably going to be prioritized because I need it for work. The living room is probably going to be prioritized if I'm going to spend most of my time there, or my bedroom, or things like that, or the kitchen if it's really, really bad. But if I can get away with just organizing a room and making it look better and deep cleaning something else, that's what I'm going to do, because at that moment I much rather have half my day dedicated to cleaning and the other half of my day dedicated to living my life and doing the things that I want to do. So I hope you liked this video. I know it was a lot of yapping. I know it was a lot of kind of just like really raw, uncut said words, but like I said, not only do I want to bring you along on this journey of me bettering myself, but I also want to really better my consistency on posting on social media. And sometimes filming the video isn't the problem, it's editing the video, or the fear that I'm gonna put all this work and nobody's gonna like it, or if I do put all this work then someone has to like it. And so I'm really trying to prove to myself that I'm not doing this for anybody but myself. It'd be nice if people like it, if people enjoy it, but I really want to just focus on getting things out there this month. So I'm hoping that throughout my year you can kind of see the progress of me posting things just to post them, and then finally putting quality out over quantity. But with that being said, I hope you stay tuned. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. I understand I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I will be here. I will be taking you along with my journey, and I hope 2026 is the year that you need it to be. Bye!